Are you just not sure if he genuinely likes you, or you're the type of person who bends over backwards in order to make someone else's life easier, even though that person hasn't really moved an inch for you? This one is for my people pleasers out there. This episode is specifically for you because I can guarantee you if that man is not making your life easier, you are going to spend the rest of your life bending over backwards for this man who has absolutely nothing to offer you besides dick and disappointment. Listen up. Welcome back to another episode of Way Too Wifey. I am your host, respectfully Gabby, and in this podcast, we talk all things dating and relationships in this modern day. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Gabby. I'm an online dating coach where I help you transform your confidence to live your best lives inside and outside of relationships. You guys, it all starts from within. I've been saying this for a really long time, but I'm so serious. Relationships are such the mirror of what we still need to heal within us. And if you refuse to look at that mirror, if you refuse to, see what's going on inside of you, you are going to attract the same kind of person, different face. You're on this constant loop of the wrong person, chaos, toxic men in your life. Yes, it's them, but it's also a bit you. That wasn't supposed to come off harsh, but I need you to know that it can get better, and the love that you actually want is so much closer than you think. So hit the Stan link in my bio, book a discovery call with me if you want to really see the transformations, or if you have this one-off problem that you want to walk through, hit a one-on-one call with me and we can walk through that together. Or write in, there's an option for that as well. I think a lot of times as people pleasers, we're like, we just don't want to rock the boat, and we're like, you know what, it's easier to just go with the flow and like see where this goes and let him kind of lead the way, but also me bending over backwards to make things work because I want to see him and I really like him and I will literally do anything to make his life easier. By the way, I used to be the type of person that would, I don't want him spending too much money on me. I feel bad. Oh my God. I'm not like that anymore because like, who the fuck cares? But I used to be the kind of person who's like, we can just hang out at your house. It's fine. No big deal. But like, fucking take me out, bro. First of all, immediate decline. If it's anywhere from the first like 3 or 4 dates and you're like trying to fucking get me back to your place or you want to come over, I'm immediately going to be icked out and I'm just done. I'm over it. I'm like checked out. Mentally can't do it anymore. I was seriously every low effort man's dream. Anyway, you guys, it's one thing to understand something and understand, okay, yeah, that's wrong. And then it's another thing to actually act and be within that energy. And I think more so recently because I realized I thought I was kind of over my like people-pleasing tendencies, if you will. But then I realized that I may not be fully over it. And it's something that I'm learning about myself recently. And I kind of want to just share some experiences with you guys and also walk through what that looks like. Because recently, when this happens for you, right? Like you get into a situation where you're like, oh my God, really like this person, and then you start to move the pieces of your life around in order to make it fit for this other person, to make it easier for this other person. You start to be the one who's being a little bit more flexible, whereas this person hasn't really done that much because you really like this person, you really want it to work out, so you're willing to be a little bit more flexible with your time, with your energy, with plans. You're just willing to be the one to bend a little bit more than the other person. But what that actually does, and what you're teaching that other person, is that you are going to be around no matter what. That person can walk all over you and still going to get the same results. That person is going to continue to go about their lives. Here's the problem with that. When you are not inconvenient for someone, for a guy specifically, there's one thing you need to know about men. It's that they love a good challenge. They love solving problems, and they love being able to help out in some way, especially for the women that they actually like. So if you want to figure out if that man is really about you and he really likes you, start being inconvenient. I'm not even joking when I'm saying this. I was the type of person, and learning to get out of that now, to really bend my ways in order to make someone else's life easier. Like, oh, you want to go on a really bare minimum date? No problem. Let's go. It's fine. I really like you, so I'm just going to say it's cool. When in actuality, it would be fucking nice for you to take me to dinner once in a while, okay? Also, you want me to fucking go out of my way and hop on a 2-hour train ride for me to go to your neighborhood. So, by the way, I'm in London now. I don't know if you guys have figured that out by now. I'm in a different setting, so that's why I'm saying train. Anyway, back on track. I'm dating here a little bit. I haven't really started getting out there at all yet, but you want me to hop on a 2-hour train, take some time out of my day, and go to your neighborhood to make it easier for you to get a coffee and walk around town or walk around the parks with you. Get the fuck out of here. No shot, no chance. If you expect me to hop on a 2-hour train ride to your neighborhood, you better fucking believe you better have that date fully planned. And it's not me walking around your neighborhood and checking out the sites. I'm sorry, but that's just not happening, okay? This is something that I think I would be so open to before, because I'm like, oh, like, it would be nice to just check out the sites and whatever. I'm super low maintenance, no big deal. But I think the more and more, so I just got here a couple of days ago, you guys, and I think the more and more guys are like, oh, like, let's go to the park and walk around and get some coffee. I'm like, I'm fucking sick of the coffee dates, okay? Step it the fuck up. There was one guy who was like, here's a couple restaurants, choose which one you like. I'm like, oh my God, yes, thank you for making a fucking plan, okay? Giving me a couple options, not an overwhelming amount of options, and letting me pick from there. Thank you for actually planning a fucking date. It is not that hard. And it's just giving me such an ick now when guys are giving just the bare minimum, because there's only so many coffee dates that can go on, and I don't want this to come across like, oh, she's so high maintenance. Like, no, I just value my time, and I think the more I'm thinking about it with coffee dates, it's fine if and only if you are going on the date because it's convenient for both of you, and it's like, oh, like, let me slot you in here because I really want to see you and I really just want to like catch a vibe and see if we actually vibe, and it's quick, you guys haven't really talked that much beforehand, whatever, then fine. A coffee date is perfectly acceptable. Or if it's your idea and you would prefer this because you just want to get to know if this person is actually like not a crazy person, fine, go meet for coffee, and that's your prerogative, okay? However, if we have been talking for weeks now, or we have met before and we've already known each other, made out before, like absolutely anything, and you're still asking me to just grab coffee as like a date to get to know me, I'm going to respectfully decline, because I'm just at this point where I'm like, I'm valuing my time and energy a lot more where I'm putting that, and I'm not really willing to go out with people that I don't really know that well, and unless you're really serious about like, hey, I want to take you to dinner and I'm like somewhat interested and we somewhat have a vibe already established, fine, then I'll be open to it. But if you've been talking and you clearly don't want to impress me, if you want to take me to go on a walk, no thanks. The point of the story here is be a little inconvenient for them. If they're actually interested, they're going to step up to the plate. Men will make time for things they deem important. And I just had this conversation with one of my girlfriends recently, because I was talking to this guy a while ago. Really liked him. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. Basically was a London guy, and nothing worked out at the end of it because I was moving. I obviously had to go back home at a certain point, and he's like, I just don't want to catch feelings if I know I'm going to get hurt at the end of it. And I was like, cool, get that. No worries. We have been in contact somewhat recently, and we had a conversation the other day because I'm back here, and I was like, let me hit him up. Let me just drop the hint that I'm back. And I did. And he was like, are you still working your weird hours? Because right now I'm still working hours from back home in America, and I'm here in London. So I get off at like 10 p.m. at night, right? And it's inconvenient. It's so fucking inconvenient for anyone that wants to take me on a date or wants to get to know me. So really all I have right now is the mornings up until the afternoon, or after work, which is not that long of a time to like actually get a date in, or on the weekends. So if you really want to see me, fine. I'm open in the mornings, so maybe a coffee would be convenient. If we haven't really met yet and we're just trying to feel out if we even connect or catch a vibe, fine. Anyway, I had messaged him like, yeah, I'm still working these hours. And his response is, it's difficult because I work from 7 to 7. And I was like, okay, well, if that man really wanted to see me, if he was so about me, if he was like this, like, I have to see you, he would drop everything that he's doing. He would move his schedule around. He would make it fucking happen, because guess what? When I was here before, working on the same schedule, by the way, he made it happen almost every day when we were seeing each other. So don't tell me that you have absolutely no time to see me because you made it work before. Anyway, we're done with that, because really, clearly he's not interested anymore, and that's fine. But I deserve someone who's going to be a little bit more flexible with me, who understands, like, yeah, I don't have the best schedule right now, and it is what it is, but you're gonna have to work with me a little bit, okay? So this is all I'm saying, is be inconvenient, because you will know right away if that man is actually interested and willing to step up to the plate. I'm not saying purposefully be inconvenient, but as of right now, my life is pretty inconvenient in having to make schedules work because I'm not on everyone else's time zone. If you are willing to work with me, that just says a lot to me already, and I really have no choice but to be inconvenient here. In another case, another example, talked about this on TikTok. So I actually had no one ended up picking me up from the airport because someone got sick. But I had one person that I had been talking to, and he was like, oh, like, how are you getting home from the airport? And I was just like, you know what? I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. And he's like, let me take you. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I just don't want to be inconvenient. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, actually, let me get back to you. Never got back to me. Never asked if I was, made it back to my place. Okay. And then another guy was like, hey, let me pick you up from the airport. I really want to see you. And I was like, it's a bit of a drive. Like, are you okay with that? And he's like, absolutely. No worries. I got you. Anyway, he ended up getting sick, so he never ended up coming. So we'll see him on another day down the line. But I had a situation, and if you give a guy a problem that you have and they don't try to solve it, don't even bother, because the right guy, at least the right guy for me, and you can want whatever you want, you can like whatever you like, you can have whatever you have, I don't care. For me specifically, having standards is so important now. And if I'm telling you I have some kind of issue and you don't jump to like, I'm not saying like a huge massive issue that you have to like solve my life. No, but like a small thing, like picking me up from the airport, and you don't want to solve that small thing for me, it says a lot more about how interested you are in this than you may think. Okay. Honestly, your efforts are going to tell me way more about this and where it's going. It's not that you have to block these people off. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is like, oh, let me ask her out on a coffee date. I actually heard this guy make a TikTok about this, and he was like, I don't understand what's going on in the dating world. I literally asked this girl on a coffee and walking date, and she said, oh my God, this isn't gonna work, and blocked me. I don't think that's the right approach at all. I think that if you don't want to go on a coffee date, all you have to say is, hey, I'm more of a dinner girl myself, or I'm more of a whatever activity kind of date, whatever you like doing instead, but let me know if that works for you, or something like that. I think the thing with a coffee date is that it's low effort. You actually don't really know if that guy's just being cheap, but I know a lot of people who have gone on a coffee date for their first date and it ended up being a successful relationship. So I think it's a matter of what you want to do, but I don't think the right approach is, no, I'm definitely not doing that with you, and then blocking someone. I think there's ways to set your boundaries of like, hey, I'm expecting a little bit more than what you're showing me, and you can either step up or I'm going to back off. And that's either way, I respect it. But then we're just not meant for each other, right? And then let them either show up, solve the problem, or they're going to be like, no, fuck that. I'm not paying for you. And then you'll know that that guy's a cheap asshole that you don't want to date anyway. And you have your answer right there. But the wrong thing to do is go off on someone because they may just not really know. Okay? They may not know better. And sometimes you have to train them in the right direction, okay, of how you want to be treated. Teach them how you want to be treated. I'm not saying that you have to like mold this person into the perfect person, but small things like that, you guys, it's really not that big of a deal. Small things like that. Hey, this is what I prefer. Take it or leave it. Okay. Yeah. So honestly, if you give a guy a problem, doesn't want to solve it, you'll know right away how much effort this guy is willing to put in, how much he's willing to be flexible with you, how much he's willing to bend his schedule a little bit in order to accommodate you. If he's willing to do any of these things, he likes you, he's interested, he wants to pursue. Give him, I think the thing is, when we make it too easy on them and hey, they're like, this is my only schedule, and then you move things around in your schedule, like, you know that you had something planned in that time frame and you move it around because you really like this guy and you're like, I really just want to see it, how it goes, but it's inconvenient for you. You're teaching them how to treat you. What you're really doing is being inconvenient for yourself. The man that actually wants to see you will make it work. And then ask yourself why you want to be with a man who doesn't want to be a little flexible for you, who doesn't want to show up for you, who's making you do all of the legwork in order to keep this together. You'll never actually know if the man really likes you if you're the one putting in all the work. Down the line, you can be more flexible, but in the very beginning stages of dating, he needs to make the efforts. He needs to come to you. He needs to be the one pursuing, because when you make it too easy on them, they're already checked out. I'm just going to give her the bare minimum just so I can get all the bits and bobs out of this that I actually want. I don't really care either way, one way or the other, if this goes anywhere, because guess what? I was never really that interested. And you never knew that because he was agreeing to all of your plans because you made it easier on him. So keep that in mind. I think that's it for this week's episode. I think I was all over the place, you guys. I had so many thoughts on this, and then they just kind of all like threw up on this episode. So I did another one of those, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you got some kind of value out of this. If you have, please hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notification so you'll never miss another episode. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, respectfully Gabby, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Thanks so much.